On this episode of the Bronze Metalist podcast, we talk about Terrible Certainty by Kreator. Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Bronze Metalist podcast. I'm Kale.
I'm OJ.
We're two professional broadcasters. We like metal and we like to talk about it. And today we're going back to 1987 to talk about a German band. I don't know why this is the voice.
They're from Kentucky.
They're from old Germany.
Yeah.
They're from Germany. One of the German Big Four.
Yeah. Possibly the most beloved.
Probably. Just certainly the most popular, I would think. Kreator. And how you know they're a metal band is because they spell Kreator with a K.
Exactly.
That's how you know that they're cool. They're a bunch of cool guys. And cool is also spelled with a K.
Right. Like the cigarettes.
Sure. I'm not familiar with those cigarettes.
Because you're not old.
Is that like an old brand of cigarettes? It was an old
menthol cigarette. It was cool. Kool.
Are they? Do they still make those?
I'm positive they do not. Yeah.
Well, didn't menthol cigarettes aren't menthol cigarettes illegal now or some shit?
That's like as of January of next year.
Okay, that'll be it. It has been
determined
ruled on. But
no more flavors.
They're not yet illegal.
Right.
Okay. Cool cigarettes.
They're so cool.
That better have been used in that, like the advertising. At least as soon as the word "cool" came into use as slang for something that's like hip and with it.
And I don't know if you know this or no, you don't know this, but they were marketed toward a certain segment of the population. I'm not going to say who the menthol cigarettes called cool were marketed toward.
Okay.
But I think you can probably guess.
Tobacco companies use targeted advertising?
Yeah, oddly they did, yeah.
What? Mm-hmm. That's crazy. Tobacco companies trying to get specific demographics hooked on their products?
Yes.
Impossible.
The evil that they were. They're no longer evil. They're fine now.
Of course,
But at the time, they were like, you know what? We should market these specific cigarettes toward people who live in like some sort of, what part of the city? Maybe the inner part of the city.
Perhaps. What about these other cigarettes?
Other cigarettes, well, the toward people the ones that don't have the flavors, perhaps a cowboy.
Or these other cigarettes, perhaps these are marketed towards 12-year-olds.
Exactly.
Children.
Oh, exactly. Because you love the animals of the desert. Specifically ones that wear sunglasses and have humps.
Because these guys, they're cool. They're not cool with a K.
No.
They're cool with a C.
They're cool with a C. And you can and they used to have a rewards program. You could win swag for fucking Camel cigarettes.
For smoking
Jesus Christ.
Cigarettes.
Camel Joe. Oh man, there's so much evil that went into all of that.
I've never, what movie I haven't seen is the movie Thank You for Smoking, which is supposed to be pretty good and extremely funny.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's very funny with Two-Face is in there.
Yeah.
He does a great job.
Aaron Eckhart.
Right.
I haven't seen that movie. I've heard nothing but good things about it.
I recommend that.
Funny. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. Right now I have in my crock pot at home. I've been working on this recipe for like a consomme beef sort of. You can put ramen in, or you can put different things, potatoes in.
Okay.
The one that I have in there right now, it's been going since about 11:30 this morning on low heat. The beef kind of fell apart, and then the spices in there, and then this tomatoey and beefy. I can't wait to put noodles in there.
You're actually making my mouth water.
Oh yeah, now. Dude. I could cook for kings, believe me.
Something that just occurred to me.
Yeah.
Are crock pots like the modern? I feel like any like crock pot recipes and the modularity that they have, and like, you got your base, and then you throw
perpetual
these things.
stew.
Yeah. That's
the
exactly
perpetual stew is what it is. I knew where you were going with this.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
And that's how I look at it. I go, if I put this beef in here, but this beef could stay in here.
Yeah.
If I put some tomatoes in here and some onions in here.
Yeah.
Oh, but later on, gosh, I had this leftover beef. Let's chuck that shit in there as well.
Whatever you have.
Yeah.
What do you have?
Oh, I got this
put
chocolate ice cream cone and put it in there. I found this puppy. You know what I mean? All that shit. You just chuck it in there, and it just blends and melds together.
That's what perpetual stews were, in the Middle Ages. Or today, there's supposedly a stew.
Yeah,
I want to say it's in the Czech Republic.
Mm-hmm.
There is a stew that has theoretically been going since
the Middle Ages.
Since like the Middle Ages.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
Which obviously it is. I feel like I've made a lot of Ship of Theseus references in the last couple of episodes for some reason.
I mean, it's a really interesting topic.
Yeah, but it's obviously the stew of Theseus at this point.
But you have to realize that it's a fluid. So there's got to be like one molecule in there.
Yeah,
from the 1500s.
That's just been in there the whole time.
Yeah.
I wonder how that works with health agencies. I wonder what whatever health agency is in the Czech Republic thinks of that, or wherever it is. I think it's in the Czech Republic, but I might be wrong.
I imagine. Here's what I imagine is. I mentioned there's a grandfather clause. There has to be like
it's a historically protected soup.
Yes, exactly. If you're gonna make a new stew, it's got to be done by the end of the day.
Yeah.
If you're gonna have this stew from when fucking Shakespeare was alive, I mean the rules weren't in place then, so it's grandfathered in. It's fine.
This one's been going since before there were laws about this.
Exactly.
So.
There is traces of bubonic plague in here, but it's all been dead.
Someone coughed into the stew.
Exactly.
And I can't actually remember when the Black Plague was. Wasn't that the 1300s?
Yeah, I think that. Well, 13 or was it the 13th century?
It's one of the two. I think it would like bubonic plague would had a couple of recurrences over the next few centuries or so, but nothing ever got close to reaching the peak of the Black Death, as it were. Which the Black Death in particular, from what I remember, refers to a fairly specific and actually surprisingly short number of years that when it was at its absolute worst.
Exactly. And I know that was sort of the marketing behind cool cigarettes.
And we brought it back.
There you go.
There we go. There we go. My cat is missing a few teeth.
Missing? Oh, they took teeth out.
Yeah. No. So she had a dental appointment on Friday last week. So I brought her in, I dropped her off, and she was not having a good time. Once I brought her in there, she was not having a good time. She was not polite to the vet.
Sure. But you're pulling teeth. Yeah, I'd be pissed too.
I mean, she didn't know that's what was happening. Neither did I.
Sure.
But I brought her in to get her teeth looked at because her breath was still stinky.
Sure.
And
if you got rotten teeth, that's going to make your breath stink.
Yeah. So I dropped her off, went to work, and came back. Went and picked her up. At 4 or so. And she had the 2 teeth behind her bottom canine teeth pulled out because she had apparently some significant enough like periodontal disease there that required the teeth to be pulled, and because they weren't canine teeth, it wasn't really a big problem.
And that shit can spread if it's trapped in your mouth, and that bacteria that disease can spread to other teeth, and then next thing you know, she's dead.
Yeah, so they pulled those teeth out, and Jesus Christ, I didn't know, because they brought her out. She's in the carrier. I didn't really have any concept of how absolutely high she was. I didn't have any concept for that, because she was in the carrier, and as she was being carried out, she fucking hissed at every single vet tech that she walked past. She was not having a good time.
I hope to never see you again.
I brought her home, opened up the door, and she fucking stumbled out of the cat carrier like she was a fucking boxer that had just gotten the absolute shit beat out of her. Like, her back legs were not working.
Jeez.
And like, she was like wandering around the apartment, and at one point she just went over by the door to my deck and just sat and stared at a spot on the carpet for about 30 minutes straight. She was high as giraffe pussy. Like, god damn. And she's just jumped up.
She jumped on my lap.
Oh my god.
She jumped on my lap.
Now she's probably going to jump onto my lap.
Okay, go ahead.
There you go.
You know, that's just me. That's me.
She realized, I think she wanted to get up there, and then she realized that there's too much stuff sitting there.
I'm just a gateway. You know, that's all ladies. I'm just the gateway to their real next guy.
Which is me.
Yeah, which is you. It's always you, Kale. That's right. Sorry, ladies.
I don't know if you know this, but it's always me. So yeah, she was just zonked, just absolutely. Sure. She was still acting weird on like Saturday, but I got her some new stuff. I got her some new bowls that are nice and elevated. There's two bowls. There's one that I've been putting her wet food in, and then I got a little bit of dry food that's specifically oral health oriented that I put a little bit of kibble in there every day.
And she doing okay now?
I mean, yeah, she's doing okay now. I haven't noticed her breath being stinky at all lately. But I also got her a little water fountain. Right. Which is supposed to be good for cats because cats do not have a very high thirst drive. Like, they're supposed to get most of their water from food, which is why wet food is supposed to be. It's a benefit of wet food is that it's has higher moisture content.
But you see cats over there at their water bowl going. Nom, nom, nom,
yeah, but that's. I mean, it sort of depends on what you're feeding them, because it's like if they're not getting the water. But even if they are pretty badly dehydrated, they will not drink the amount of water that they require. Because their instincts are not geared towards that the way they are for like dogs. But the fountain is supposed to be helpful because it's moving water, so it's like a stream or something. And
nice.
She seems relatively interested in it. Sometimes she'll just go over and watch it.
You know, honestly, I would like to have that in my home. Just for me.
Just a tiny little water fountain?
Just a little water fountain. Just something that sits up and it pours water on different sides. Put my mouth under it occasionally.
there you go.
Water.
So yeah, I spent some money on the cat. I did recently buy her some new toys for the first time in a while.
Nice.
I bought her a little lead thing that has a little mouse on the end of it, and it's got a long, like, silver, like, rounded wire that's supposed to be hard for her to see, and she fucking loves that thing. I have made a point to put it away between playing with it, because I think most cats are like this, where if they get used to a toy, they lose all interest in playing with it.
Sure.
So I make sure to like put it away in between using it. But when I go and get it and she sees it, she freaks out.
Nice.
She starts like yelling at me.
She has joy.
So I'm happy that she actually likes a toy, because I feel like it's been hard to get her to play lately, or at least with any toys. Her favorite toys are my hands, which she likes to attack on occasion.
Right now she's all cross-eyed, but I think she's usually cross-eyed.
She's always been cross-eyed.
She's a little more than normal at the moment.
Depends on how focused her eyes are, whether or not she's looking at something. She'll be, her eyes are always a little crossed in the most adorable way. It is funny whenever I take her, like the vet techs, when I came to pick her up.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I'm here to pick up Zima. And they're like, oh, is that the little white and gray ragdoll? And I was like, she's so cute.
Yeah, she is.
And I'm like, I know she is. She's incredibly cute. I'm the worst thing in the world, I feel like, is that I'm slightly desensitized to how cute she is.
Right.
Which is not saying a lot because she's still incredibly cute.
Sure.
So it's not hard to break through the desensitization when she does something particularly cute.
For the record, he's kneading the cat like a pile of dough right now.
And she likes it.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I mean, she's not trying to bite me right now, so I interpret that as her enjoying it.
I saw gameplay this week for a specific DLC that's coming out very
Elden
shortly.
Ring.
Yeah.
I've avoided watching any of the gameplay stuff.
But I've watched just some of the game, like hey, here's what kind of we want to spoil anything for you. When I say there are these new weapons classes and you might like this, and I'm not going to tell too much about it, but it looks fantastic.
I'm sure it will be.
Yeah.
I know it's kind of funny. So there's a YouTuber that's called Vati.
Yeah.
That has for a very long time made like lore videos about the different FromSoft games, and because he's probably like the biggest like name in like YouTube for FromSoft games.
Yeah.
He always gets like preview stuff, and he played the 3-hour preview or whatever of the DLC, and then released a video about it, and people were apparently upset with him that there were spoilers in it, and it's like, it's a 3-hour gameplay video. Did you not think there were going to be some amount of spoilers in there?
Apparently, the DLC is going to be about 70 hours worth of play.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
I would hope.
Yeah.
Because it's been 2 fucking years.
Right. And it's $40 worth of DLC.
They've been cooking for a long time.
Yeah.
I would hope that there's a sizable chunk.
And they got a lot of
content
feedback over it. There's a lot of feedback they've got over it, so they've had a lot to work with.
Exactly.
So hopefully they put out this awesome piece of just delicious, beefy deliciousness.
Well, and also it's apparently the only one they're going to do for Elden Ring, so it's like they better have made it big and beefy and have a lot to get through.
And it's not like we thought exactly. Not 100%. You're not 100% a new character.
Well, yeah, I didn't think you were a new character, but like your whatever character that you made is not directly linked to like your level progression in
but
it is kind of.
Yeah, it is kind of. But you still maintain like a certain level of whatever already, and I think they give you opportunities to respec, to like go back to the academy and to do certain things. But I mean, a lot of what you've already built still applies, but they also give you opportunities to do entirely new shit. Yeah,
excited.
I am excited as
well.
I'm excited
for it.
I should probably finish Elden Ring.
Yeah, you should probably finish the game that you've had for 2 years.
Yeah.
And maybe think about finishing it for the first time out of your 6 playthroughs.
My 6 playthroughs, and my latest character, who's now level 100, and probably should go beat Renala.
Yeah, I think so.
That might be hard.
It might. I don't know. She's too hard.
Yeah,
it's too hard. No, I think you can.
I could probably do that.
You can do it. I believe in you.
And then go into the city and
you should do it.
Yeah.
There's that. There's also.
I mean, I beat her before.
Yeah.
With other playthroughs.
Yeah. New season for Deep Rock Galactic is coming out.
Nice.
Sometime soon. That's got some new stuff that looks fun and exciting. So I might go back to playing that a little bit at some point here. A lot of time being taken up by Valheim as of late.
Sure.
Just because it's a nice kind of fun sort of turn your brain off game a little bit. And if I'm like by myself playing it, it's a good excuse to catch up on podcasts that I have fallen deeply behind on, like Not Another D&D podcast. Like I fell way behind on that, and I'm catching up now, rapidly catching up, and I'm enjoying myself. I
was on Snapchat earlier today, and I was sending my daily snaps to people, and then I went to see what they were recommending to me as stuff I could look at on Snapchat, and there was one thing that was like, hey, this is definitely 100% pornography. Snapchat was recommending like a pornography channel for me to follow. I'm like, why? I have made no indication on the app that I would want anything adult oriented in any way, but they're like, hey, watch these people before this gang bang. I'm like, why are you recommending this to me?
What brought that up? That felt like it came out of nowhere a little bit.
It was something you said, but now I don't remember.
I don't know. I don't know what I said in there, but I don't know what would make Snapchat think that.
Yeah, I don't either. I have no idea why
companies talking to each other as far as cookies go and data go. I don't know. Who knows?
I don't save any cookies or data or anything like that.
I don't fucking know.
I have no idea. Because now I'm subscribed to this porn thing.
Or Snapchat, or maybe Snapchat is just the wild fucking West.
It kind of is. I mean, I think they assume that if you're on Snapchat, you're sending dick pics to somebody.
I guess. Although it's not nearly as like anonymous as it used to be, right?
Yeah.
Like the whole like the photos going away thing is different than it was when at the inception of the platform.
Yeah, kinda. I mean, I've never sent any dirty pictures to anybody, as far as I know.
As far as I
know, I've never sent anything.
Look, there's been a few nights where I've gotten real drunk and I don't know.
Woke up and got a message back going, ugh. So no, I've never done anything like that. But it's just weird.
Yeah, it is weird.
That's
strange.
It's very weird.
Very weird.
I don't know why you're suddenly talking like Carl Sagan.
There he is. Billions and billions of weirdness.
Billions and billions of dick pics.
I do a really good Carl Sagan impersonation. Actually, see, that wouldn't be accurate because his ashes are in space. So, yeah.
He's not doing the pose.
No, he's not.
Can you do an impression of what his ashes are doing in space?
There you go.
The most entertaining thing about that is no one knows what you just did, and I think that's the funniest thing about it.
Yeah,
to me.
Nobody knows that I made sort of a weird face in a jar pose and sort of swung to the left a little bit.
His attempt at being a jar,
like I'm floating in space, full of ashes.
Full of ashes. All right,
that'd be a great album title.
Yeah, it would be a good album title. Yeah. You know what else is a good album title? You gave me a perfect segue and I fucked it up. You know what else would be a perfect album title?
What's that, Kale?
Terrible Certainty by Kreator.
Sure.
So if you don't know, Kreator is a German thrash metal band, widely regarded. I think widely regarded is probably underplaying it. They are universally considered to be a member of the big four of German thrash metal.
And one of the better thrash metal bands of all time.
Yeah, they're definitely up there with regards to just the genre in general. The other big four the other three in the big four include Destruction, Sodom, and Tankard.
As we talked about the other week.
Yeah, just a few weeks ago. Kreator got started back in 1982. Their lineup has changed relatively significantly throughout the existence of the band.
Yeah, it's always been Milla, though.
Yeah, the only original band member is Milla Petroza, who does vocals and guitar. And other than that, let's see, where are they from? They're from Essen in North Rhine-Westphalia, which I'm not Not exactly sure where that is.
Westphalia.
In Germany.
Yeah.
Westphalia.
Yeah.
But they've had a fairly big influence over, thrash metal in general. And certainly, I think if you listen to this album, it's relatively apparent how influential they probably were for like early black metal or early death metal bands and black metal bands probably.
Well, I think they were more influenced by black metal.
Earlier, but I'm talking about second wave black metal.
Sure. Oh yeah, definitely
being an influence on them.
Yeah.
Like the vocals especially, they definitely lean into a more chaotic kind of darker atmosphere, at least on this record anyway. They do. I can't speak for their other stuff because I haven't listened to it.
You've listened to the album after this.
That's true. Yeah, that's but that was a long time ago.
That was quite a while.
I don't remember any of it. But
and it's funny when you listen to this and you are aware of the album that came after Extreme Aggression, you can see the progression of it. I mean, this is a lot more chaotic and a lot less refined, and then Extreme Aggression is the more refinement of the thrash metal what they were trying to do. This was 90% there. Yeah. Extreme Aggression was 100% there. And then Coma of Souls was like, well,
nah, we're done.
We're done. Kind of. And then after that, they did weird shit.
Yeah.
Which actually was really good, which I loved a lot. Yeah.
Let's just do whatever.
Yeah.
We did what we wanted to do, and now we're going to do what we want to do.
Yeah, which makes this my third favorite Kreator album.
Really?
Yeah.
What is your favorite one?
Well, Extreme Aggression is my favorite.
Okay.
Because, I mean, that meant 1989. It was like...
Then what's your second favorite one?
The one after Coma of Souls, which is Renewal, which a lot of people go, yeah, nice try.
What is this?
Hey, what the fuck is this? It was sort of alternative thrash.
Interesting.
Yeah, that they did. But I thought, that actually it's very interesting how they did it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that. And a lot of people went, nah. No,
I feel like that... You feel that way about a number of albums by various different bands.
Yeah.
Like Swan Song for Carcass is kind of that way for you as well, where you seem to really appreciate it when bands just do something different because fuck it, this is what we want to do.
Yeah, I like that. I like that when they come out with how about this?
We made this.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Right.
I think there definitely is something to appreciate about that. I feel like they tend to depending upon how familiar I am with the band already, they tend to not quite hit the same way for me.
Right. I gotta say, but in defense of you, your opinion there is in reality, it's about 70-30. It's about 70-30 with bands going, huh? It's about 30% of the time you're like, yeah, you had a good idea with that. 70% of the time it's like, fail. That was a failure.
The ones you brought just happened to fall into the 30%.
Exactly.
For you. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So Terrible Certainty came out in 1987.
Yeah.
This is what their second album?
Yeah. Endless Pain was their first.
Oh no, this is their 30th. Their
30th album.
Their third album, because there's Endless Pain and then Pleasure to Kill.
Pleasure to Kill, right? Yeah.
Their first two albums.
Pleasure to Kill is possibly widely considered their best. Pleasure to Kill. Yeah.
Okay. So this came out 1987. Well, what's your sort of history with this album or Kreator in general?
With Kreator in general, I had a friend of mine in high school who mocked anybody who didn't like Kreator.
Interesting. And you didn't want to be one of those people.
No, I didn't. And and I like metal and I like thrash metal and stuff like that. Like, I guess I really gotta like Kreator. And I had the EP Out of the Dark Into the Light, and I had like 4 songs. I'm like, this is fucking great. And then I got this on cassette. I'm like, this is really great.
Yeah.
And then I continued to enjoy Kreator.
Nice.
For a while. I mean, like this.
You were a creationist.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm fairly young on this earth at the time.
Sure.
So I was a young on the earth creationist.
Yep. You opened up a museum
with dinosaurs.
Yep.
In Kentucky.
Yeah. I feel like fans of Kreator should call themselves creationists with a K.
That'll be great. But it won't sound like they're
and then show up to like creationist meetings and see how that goes.
Exactly. When Miller first made the earth and mankind in his image. I
feel like that could only end well.
No. Yeah, sure.
I'd like to. It's as long as someone films the results of that. I think.
I feel like a lot of it would be blurred on social media. Yeah.
Yeah. So, do you think this album slaps?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It does
slap.
This is, it's interesting because through this podcast, I've listened to, I feel like a reasonable amount of thrash metal.
Sure, because of
at this point.
Yeah.
And there are various like very classic thrash metal, but this is, I feel like this album, it just hits really well in a really good spot for thrash metal for me.
Right.
It's a very thrashy thrash metal album.
And it's a sweet spot of thrash metal. It's right there on the bat where it's going to hit a home run.
It's solid in every way. There wasn't any part of it that that bugged me at all. Like there was something that, like, a thing that popped into my head. I think we've only listened to one Megadeth album.
Yeah, I only put that on you once.
Because and it's something that I made note of, that a number of other people have made note of throughout the history of Megadeth, is that his vocals are, his vocals, they're not great.
Right. If you're a Megadeth fan, I'm sorry I did that. I apologize.
Like the rest of Megadeth is awesome.
Oh, sure,
it's great, but like his vocals are just hard to get over.
Sure.
But this, like, nothing about this bothered me, which that feels like faint praise.
Wow, this didn't suck at all.
And I did not intend it as such, but like, I feel like I'm such a picky listener.
Yeah.
Where, like, I will fixate on little things that bug me, and it will end up spoiling what might otherwise have been a really enjoyable experience. But there was nothing like that for this. This was just solid, lots of fun to listen to, front to back.
Yeah, and you know what I like? You look at the people on this album. None of them have German names.
Yeah. So alongside Mila Petroza, who plays guitar and is also a vocalist.
Yeah.
You've got
Jörg Tributowski.
Yeah. Which that's a little bit of a blender of a name. Jörg, I can believe, as a German name, but Tributowski.
It's a bit Polish.
A little bit. Rob Fioretti.
Yeah.
A pretty
very
Italian
Spanish
name.
A very Italian.
Pretty Italian name.
Yeah.
And then
Venter.
Just Venter.
That's not his real name.
Yeah, I don't know what his real name is. Jürgen Ryle. That's okay. That is extremely German.
Yeah.
Anybody named Jürgen, I'm like, German. My favorite brand of lotion, Jürgens. I'm using Jürgens lotion.
I mean,
don't you mean Jürgens?
Jürgen. Nope. Jürgen.
It's made with ingredients gathered in the Black Forest, deep in the heart of Germany.
How much lotion are you going through there? Okay.
I have dry skin.
I get ashy.
I wash my hands a lot. I take 2 showers a day. I got dry skin.
Actually, you know what? As I get older, and you'll find this out, I lather my face twice a day. I have different lotion to put on all over my, because otherwise I will just I have fairly oily skin, so I don't feel the need for an extra moisturization. But it certainly, after I shower in the morning, I do moisturize my face, because it feels very dry. Yeah.
Otherwise,
I have this really great face moisturizer that I bought when I was drunk in Vegas.
That's how you know it's great.
Yeah, that's how you know it's great. It's this French woman's like, You need to put this on your face.
Yes. Put it on your face.
And so,
you fucking stupid American.
My girlfriend at the time was like, you don't need this. I'm like, oh, but I look good.
But a French lady told me. I definitely am trying to moisturize a bit. At least my face. I definitely try to moisturize my hands too, but there's only so much that can be done. I feel like I have not grown out of the post-COVID habit of washing my hands a lot.
And that dries the shit out of it.
Yeah, definitely. It dries the hands out, but I'm clean.
Exactly. And really, if you're washing your cock and balls constantly, they dry out as well. Yeah.
Sure.
Gotta moisturize your cock and balls.
So Kreator.
Yeah.
So I didn't look too hard for scores here.
This is not one of the widely regarded. I mean, it's very mixed when you look at the best. What's the best Kreator album? This is somewhere down the line usually because it's like a transitional period
for sure. So there were a couple just on their Wikipedia page for this album that came out to a total of 80. There were two 90s and one 60 in there, which I don't think this deserves a 60 by any means. But stop! Don't cat. She does this thing where she'll walk past me and she'll like vibrate her tail up against my legs, and it tickles terribly.
Right.
And I hate it. I hate it.
Yeah.
She does it constantly while I'm trying to eat. Like I keep a spray bottle at the table whenever I'm eating at the table because she will just be like rubbing up against my legs or brushing her tail against the inside of my knees.
Right.
And that like, it bugs the shit out of me. I hate it. I know she's just trying to be cute and get my attention, but I'm not here for it. I'm trying to fucking eat.
Right.
Anyway, Kat interrupts. She successfully distracted me. Yeah. Congratulations. You succeeded.
Blood God.
So it came out to about an 80. What's your favorite song on this album?
I mean, the title track is fucking awesome. I love that motif they have in there. But also Toxic Trace is really good. That'd be the first song and the second side of the cassette.
My favorite is One of Us.
Oh, also a great song.
I really like. There's a lot of really great riffs in there. There's one riff especially though that I wanted to talk about in One of Us because I think it's one of the earlier examples of a riff that it's not exactly the same every time. There's always little variations on it, but there's a basic structure to this riff that you can find all over metal. Metalcore fans will know it as the Unholy Confessions riff by Avenged Sevenfold.
But this predates that by quite some time.
It even predates what I previously had assumed was one of the earliest uses of it, which is Spirit Crusher by Death. There is another riff that I think only gets used twice in Spirit Crusher. But there's also apparently a band called a band called Ceremonial Oath that apparently has something similar to it from 1995 because there is a thread that I go back to whenever it pops into my head that was posted on Reddit like 5 years ago of someone gathering all of the examples they could find of this riff and it's been used over and over again. It's not exactly the same, but it's very close.
Right. It has the same spirit.
There's the different variations on this basic idea. It's good. It's a good like structure and it's a good riff.
And there's a reason it's been repeated
because it's you hear it and you go yeah. It turns you into James Hetfield for a moment. But I think I did that last week too.
Maybe.
I don't remember why.
My son, by the way, and I had a discussion about what it would sound like if the food came to the table while Jesse Ventura and James Hetfield were having dinner.
Jesse Ventura? Okay.
Ooh, yeah, no, sorry, Macho Man.
I was going to say, what did Jesse Ventura do?
Macho Man and James Hetfield. We're having, ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. See, now I'm stuck on Jesse Ventura.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah,
because now I'm thinking if it was James Hetfield on one side and then Jesse Ventura just being like, I ain't got time on the other side.
That's why he orders the steak well.
This shit'll turn you into a sexual tyrannosaurus. I think Predator might be the only Jesse Ventura movie I've seen. Really? I don't know if I've seen any other movie that Jesse Ventura was in.
Kindergarten Cop. No, I'm saying
he wasn't in that.
He was not.
But anyway, yeah, my favorite is One of Us, partially because I heard that riff and immediately recognized it. Right. It was like, I got another one to add to the list. Right. Like I'm really thinking about leaving a comment on this 5-year-old thread to be like, hey, I found another one. What do you think?
Yeah, this is Mila Petroza wrote this
in 1987. So yeah, what metal do you bestow upon terrible certainty by Kreator, like Maz Kanata to Chewbacca in the 2019 film Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker.
Because you have to give a context.
Every once in a while, I have to remind everybody.
What the fuck you're talking about?
I was thinking about that earlier today, about how long it's been since that movie came out, and like how many people listen thinking that I'm just like a really big fan of that movie.
Yeah.
It's like, no, I started this bit as a way to make fun of that part of the movie that I thought was stupid.
Right.
Then we just
5 years later
just keep doing it.
It gets a high silver for me.
Sure, I would definitely agree with that. I would say a high silver for sure. This is very good and enjoyable album. Mm-hmm. It's not, the most insane, incredibly life-changing thing in the world, but
it's great.
It's a good listen. You should give it a listen. Mm-hmm. Next week, I don't yet know what I want to talk about or listen to next week. I haven't. I have not gotten any ideas. I thought I had the inkling of something, but it slipped away. Mm-hmm.
I know what my next album's going to be.
Well, that's good. You got it. You got it prepared.
I got that locked in.
You got that locked in ahead of time.
And it's a local.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, it'll be a surprise for you, the listener, next time.
Yeah.
Until then, why don't you go ahead and follow our pages on Facebook or the website formerly known as Twitter.
Thanks.
Or you could go ahead and subscribe to our feed on whatever you're using to listen to us right now. Until you hear from us again sometime, thank you very much for listening to another episode of the Bronze Metalist Podcast. I'm Cal.
I'm OJ.
Congratulations.